Good morning, everybody. Welcome back. My name is Johnny. Welcome back to Paint Therapy, everybody. Yes, it's me. I'm back. I had the audacity to show up again, so here I am. It's another month, another episode. Super exciting. Welcome back. If you are new here, like I said, my name is Johnny, and once a month I put on a cool little tutorial for you guys where I show you guys how to paint a picture from start to finish, step by step, the entire way through. I make it really simple for you guys, and I do both really beginner-friendly paintings and some that are a little bit more intermediate that really anyone can do if they just follow my step-by-step instructions. So I have a lot of fun. We all have a lot of fun here, so welcome back. If you are new here, if you do like art, if you're interested in this kind of stuff, I highly suggest you subscribe because this video is for you. We have a lot of fun here. We don't just paint, we talk, we joke, and we laugh at ourselves. Well, I laugh at myself a lot. You can join the family. So exciting. But yeah, seriously, hit that subscription button and the like button and I don't know, the notification bell and all the other buttons. Just hit them all. Just pretend you're at the casino. You might hit the jackpot, you know? You're gonna get more of me. That's a jackpot. Like, that's like seriously like winning the lottery. Okay, what am I saying? Anyways, I'm super excited. Today, guys, we are actually gonna be painting a painting of mine that's one of my favorites. So today, we're actually gonna be painting a crashing wave on the shoreline here in SoCal. We're gonna be doing a daylight sky, like the middle of a sunny day, and in the background we're going to have just a couple little hills off out in the shoreline that you can see the coastline is going down, so that way you can just get some more perspective, some more interest, and some more distance, and some more growth, I guess, I don't know, in your painting. So it's going to be really cool. We've got lots of going on in this one. It's all going to be so simple, step by step. Just take it easy, take it slow, and follow my lead. By the end of today, you will have an amazing painting that is ready to be hung up on your wall, and you're going to be so proud of it. So thank you for watching. Now let's just dive right into it, guys. Just so you guys know, in case you were curious, all the brushes, paints, all the different tools, the different brands that I'm going to be using today, you can find in the description box below. I'll go through the brushes as we use them, just so you know what colors you're definitely going to need. Titanium white, bright aqua green, Mars black, burnt umber, primary blue, ultramarine blue, yellow oxide. Alrighty guys, so the first step is actually going to be doing our sky right here. So if you look at my canvas, you can see that I did go ahead, and something I always do with my paintings, fam, if you are new here, is I go ahead and I just tape up the border of my painting, just because at the end it actually leaves a really nice, fresh framed, clean cut look. And that way you don't need to spend a fortune to get a painting framed. It kind of has that framed appearance and you can feel like a baller on a budget. You know what I mean? So that's why I do that. I did go ahead and put another piece of tape in the middle here. That's going to be our horizon line, and especially for a beginner tutorial, this is just one less thing for you to worry about. So if you do this, you don't need to worry about being super steady with your brush at your horizon and can just use that as your guide. As you can see, I did section off below where our ocean and our shoreline is going to be, and up top where our sky and our little hills over here are going to be. So I'm going to just be starting with the sky right now. We are going to be just using our primary blue and our titanium white at the moment. The brush I'm using for this, everybody, a 1-inch flat brush. For my returning painters here, yes, I have a new 1-inch flat brush. I'm so excited. I got a new one yesterday. I bought this one by itself. It was like a really nice brush and it's all shiny, and I don't know. I like it. I'm excited to use it. Being an adult is so boring, don't you think? If you look at my palette here, I'm just using a paper plate, guys. I'm not that fancy. So I actually just have, like I said, the primary blue and the titanium white on my palette right now. Now I'm gonna start incorporating those colors together to get my sky color going. Hopefully at this point, some of you may know that with a daytime sky, with a blue sky, it's gonna be darkest up at the top, or the most vibrant up at the top, and slowly but surely fade down into like a hazy white light color at the bottom. That's just how the horizon looks in real life. If you ever want to see what I'm talking about, if it's sunny where you are right now, just like go outside and just like look at the sky. Yeah, just gonna start by going ahead and just bringing a little bit of this white into my blue over here, just until I get a good vibrant sky color. Okay guys, I got a little bit messy on my palette here, but it's okay, who cares? Don't look at that, just look at the painting. Okay, so right here, this is gonna be the color that I'm pretty much starting with. So just go ahead and start up top, right up here. You wanna make sure that you have a fully loaded brush here. You don't wanna be cheap on the paint for this. Anytime we're blending, all my returning painters know this already, but anytime we're blending, we wanna make sure we have enough paint to actually mix up with another color on the canvas, so that way we're not kind of pulling paint from one place and putting it in another place. We want it to all just incorporate incorporate really nicely. I love my new brush. It's so nice. I'm so excited. So what we do now, guys, is we just go ahead and add some more white on our palette here. Slowly but surely create a changing color and have it get lighter and lighter to the point where it's really light down when we get here at the bottom. So just adding some more white in there. So now I'm just gonna go ahead and just do kind of like just like a thin line for now, just to get started. But you see how those two colors start to blend together and you get kind of like this hazy, kind of streaky, kind of cloudy haze, I guess, in the sky. It looks really good, so do that. And this is exactly what I'm talking about working. When you start to see these two colors come together and start incorporating. Skies look totally different every day of every week of every year, so there's no wrong way to do this. As long as you follow that basic principle that it gets lighter at the bottom, and I mean, don't make your sky like green or something, it's gonna look great, I promise. Okay, so now I'm just taking whatever I have left on my brush there. I've got lots of blue still on that brush, and I'm just going into just straight white on my palette now. As you can see, now that I'm getting down to the bottom here, I'm just going in with like pretty much almost totally white, so that way I have that more concentrated, lighter color here at the bottom. Beautiful, guys. So just like that, we're done with our sky. The next step is actually going to be doing our hills right over here. So get ready. We're going to let this dry for like 2 minutes and then get right into our hills. Alrighty, guys. So to get back into these hills over here, if you look on my canvas, I am actually going to be doing 3 different ridges of these hills. So now remember, those 3 different ridges where it's like a hill that's in front of a hill that's in front of a hill, they're going to be different shades. They need to be different shades so we can see that they're not the same hill and not the same ridge. Now, it's also important that, remember, these hills are out in front of us and far. So each of those ridges, each of those hills actually have some distance between each other as well. So that color change is going to go from lighter in the back to darker and more vibrant closer to us and in the front. And that's going to show and give the illusion that those hills are getting closer to us. The only colors I have on my palette right now for this are actually my green. I can't pronounce the kind of green it is, but it's kind of like a vibrant forest green. I've got my Mars black, I've got titanium white, just a dash of burnt umber, and just a dash of my yellow oxide. So I'm going to start playing around with these and get into the first ridge color. The brushes I'm going to be using for this are as follows. So for doing my outline of these ridges over here, just to kind of get the outline, I'm using a brush that I like to use specifically for doing outlines. I just have a lot of control with this brush. So this is my number 6 angled brush. After we've done the outlines and I need to fill in with the actual color I'm painting with, I'm going to be using my medium filbert brush for that. Just bringing a little bit of that Mars black over to my green to get started, dash of white, small amount of my yellow oxide over there as well. I think that is a perfect starting color. So now using my number 6 angled brush, I'm just going to start with that first ridge all the way in the back. Great. Now just going in with my medium filbert brush right here to fill that in. So just like that, guys. And now something else I'm going to be doing each time I fill in one of my ridges is I'm going to be using this medium filbert brush just to create some ridge detail up top, because it's not going to be perfectly smooth, you know, even from this far away. Something else I'll remind you of is that as these hills get closer to us, you want to make these ridge details more detailed. You want them to be the least detailed and the least pronounced on the furthest hills and the most detailed on those hills that are closest to us. So I'm going to go ahead and slowly change and transition my color for these hills and time lapse through this, and I'll be right back. Okay guys, so now we are going to dive right into our ocean scene here. Now if you do look at my canvas here, I've got a lot going on, so pay attention. So as you can see, I do kind of have somewhat of a doodle here. You see this big old mess here? Don't mind that. Please don't mind that. That was my pen, for whatever reason, had the audacity, had the balls to actually explode on me while I was trying to sketch out my plan. So yeah, that's what that is, but you just don't mind that, okay? As you can kind of see, I do have a bit of a doodle here where I've got a line right here and a line right here, and I've got a line right here. So this area back here is going to be our ocean in the background. That's going to be mostly flat. We'll have a little bit of uneven water back there that we're going to go through and do some shading for, but it's going to be, for the most part, just flat ocean in the background. This line right here, and you can see there's a bit of a curve right there, is going to be the wave as it's coming up, but it hasn't fallen over on itself yet. Now over here is where it has come up and folded back over itself and is literally crashing into the shoreline. We want to show that the wave is crashing and is also on its way to crashing over here. That way you're getting more interest, you're getting more in your painting, and there's just more perspective and it just looks more authentic. Then this line right here is kind of where our sandy shoreline is going to start, and we're going to be blending that in together. So right now I'm going to get started with the back. We're going to do it one step at a time. The colors I'm using for the back right here are going to be my Ultramarine Blue, my Titanium White, my Ultra Aqua Green, and I put just a dab of Mars Black on there just in case I want to darken up the ocean color or make it a little bit more bland. So I'm going to get started right now. I'll see you guys in just a sec. Okay guys, so really quickly I just went ahead and did my horizon line just so I can get that out of the way, just because I need to be really particular with that line so I don't go over the lines and ruin my sky. As you see, I did start with that blue color, which I have right here on my palette. We're going to start transitioning that color into a little bit more of a lighter color to signify and symbolize that the water is getting more shallow as it's coming closer to us. It's getting shallower, so the water is going to be more transparent and a little bit lighter in color. Now, with that being said, we're also going to be doing just the very beginning of a wave forming back here. So to do that, we need to do something that shows us the water is lifting up above the rest of the water. The water is coming up above sea level because all that momentum is pushing this water up, but it hasn't actually come to a peak yet and crashed. So what we're going to be doing to do that, since the sun is out there in the sky, out in the ocean, facing us, what we're going to be doing is on this side of that peak, on this side, towards us, we are going to be making the color a little bit darker than the surrounding color because that's going to be the shading from the sun out in the ocean, up in the sky. So what I'm going to do first, and we'll be doing that more towards the end of this process. First, I'm going to lighten this color up a little bit because we are getting more shallow. Bringing in some of that Ultra Aqua Green right there. Also going to go into just a little bit of water for this so I can blend into that earlier color we had. And just blending that color up into that darker ocean color we have behind it, everybody. Gonna lighten this up even more now. And I'm just gonna be filling in the rest of this area above that line that we drew. Perfect, guys, just like that. See how you can see that color transitioning like that? That's exactly what we want. Now, to do that beginning of that wave that we were talking about, the very beginnings, just the very beginnings of a wave, we're just gonna make this color a little bit darker again, really, really quick. So just pulling a little bit more of my Ultramarine Blue onto my lighter color on my palette. Remember just to dip a little tiny bit in water, especially when you're trying to blend nicely. And I'm just going to do just the tiniest little line, just like that, everybody. Just like that. And then what I'll do, we'll just blend that downward. So typically we would blend up, but when we're doing just the beginning of a wave peak like this, we're blending down because we want to keep that top of that peak disconnected or you want to see the contrast. There we go. You want to see the contrast between the top of that beginning of that wave, the top of that little peak, and the water that's behind it. That's going to be a little bit lighter. So that's how come you're blending down for this. Now I'm going to do another one. This one will be back there. And again, just blending down, not blending up. And look how beautiful that looks. And look how beautiful that looks. These little tiny things that when you're doing them, you're like, this isn't going to do anything. It does so much. Awesome, amazing job. Okay, so now we're actually ready to dive right into our wave break area over here at the bottom. So this is gonna be the eye-popping part, guys. This is gonna be the focal point of this entire painting. Just take your time. You are gonna need to really kind of pay attention with this part. It's gonna be a lot of fun, and once you get the hang of it, you'll just be on your way and just be doing your thing, and it'll be easy peasy for you. But until you do get the hang of the motions we're gonna be doing, the different brushes we're gonna be using, etc., just take your time, pay attention, rewatch the steps if you need to rewatch. It's okay. By the way, if there's ever a time where I could explain something better for you guys or didn't explain something enough, please let me know in the comments down below, and I'll make sure to either release a follow-up video for you guys that I can attach with a link, or in my next video I'll make that change so that way I don't do that again. On my palette for this, I actually just have my primary blue again. I've got my titanium white, the ultra aqua green, I've got just a drop of Mars black, my burnt umber, and I've got my yellow oxide. Now we're gonna need all of these ocean colors on this side, sandy colors on this side, because what we're gonna be doing, ooh, just got paint all over me. Because what we're gonna be doing is actually going from the ocean area right here, where the wave is falling over on itself, into the sandy area here, and that needs to blend together in the middle. I am actually using a 3/4 inch flat brush for this, so I'm gonna start just by messing around with my Ultramarine Blue again. I'm gonna start by throwing just a little tiny bit of white in there. Some ultra aqua green, especially for this part, guys. This is gonna be our lightest, most vibrant, most kind of turquoisey-ish ocean color in the whole painting is gonna be right here. So don't hold back, have fun with it. Make it bright, make it powerful, make it yours. This is your painting. Now, an important note is that this very top part of this wave right here is gonna be the lightest part, and then it's gonna get a little bit lower and be a little bit darker. Now, the darker color at the bottom on the lower end is still gonna be lighter than any of the colors we have in the back here, or just as light as some of the colors in the back, but definitely not darker. Now, the reason we need the top to be the lightest at this point is because the ocean, like we know, is coming up and folding, and it's getting thin right here, which is that top part right there. You can see the sunlight right through that sheet of glass water right there. Because of that, it's gonna pop and make that area and that part of the ocean a lot lighter than the rest of it. So the color I'm gonna be going with for that very light part up there is gonna be this color right here. I know it's kind of like off to the side and I kind of worked my way across the plate, but whatever. So I'm gonna start by applying that right here and then blending that in through the whole segment right now. Just like this, guys. Go slow, there's no rush. This is for you. It's not for anybody else but for you, so take your time. You want to bring this all the way up so that way you don't see any more white from underneath, you know, the paint where the canvas color is. But you don't want to go too high up, so take your time and go slow. I'm just going to throw a little bit of white in there just to lighten it up some more. Amazing, and now we're gonna start blending in to that darker blue color. So now I'm gonna go into the blue I had over here, which is a bit more blue, and start applying that down here. And just blend that up. And see now, something that just happened here when I put on those little white pieces and I just brought them down is you start to see that upward, downward movement in our wall here, our glass water wall. So that's exactly what you want. You want to start to kind of bring your brush stroke in the shape of that wave. So just slightly curl it, just slightly, how that wave curls, just slightly. And then you do want to make sure you're getting down in here. Just bringing this right down here at the bottom. We are almost there, guys. I hope you guys are having fun doing this with me. I am really happy to be here doing this today. It's been a really, really busy couple weeks. I say that in every video if you're new. Welcome. But anyways, it has been a lot of fun. I've been planning out how I wanted to do this painting for the last couple weeks now. I actually did paint it once already, and I filmed it and everything, but I decided to redo it. I just felt like I could have given you guys better, so that's what I decided to do. So here I am refilming it again. It's just so much fun, number one, to do this stuff for you guys, and it's for myself too, you know, I mean, obviously. I just want to make sure that you guys get just the absolute best, and this one is definitely coming out a lot better than the last one, so I'm super excited about that. And more like super grateful, because I have to say, I said a couple prayers, because the last one just didn't come out the way I wanted it to. It just wasn't happening. So I'm glad that this one is. Let me find some wood to knock on or something. So now we're gonna get into the blending into the sand, guys, so pay attention. I'm just gonna start taking some of that yellow oxide and moving that around and blending that with some white. See how you get that really nice golden sandy color? That's exactly what we want. That's why I love this yellow oxide color. It's such a great color. And I'm gonna bring just a little bit of my burnt umber in there for some more depth to that color, some more graininess to that color. And this right here, guys, is perfect. That's a perfect color right there. So I'm just gonna go ahead and get moving with it, just right down here at the bottom. You also want to be using a bit of water for this now, because you're going to really need that water to get a really good blend for this transition here. So like I said, starting at the bottom, just to kind of get that color on there, we're just going to keep going and keep bringing that up until we blend it into our ocean scene there, guys. So as you can see right over here where I'm blending into the ocean right now, just got the color on my brush, just a little bit of water on the tip, go right over and blend. And you see there now how that ocean blends right into the sand color there, as if that water is just getting shallower and shallower until you can actually see the sand right through it. That's exactly what we want. That's exactly what we want, fam. Keep going. Keep doing it. Again, color on my brush, drop of water, and we blend away. Away we blend. There we go. That right there is a fantastic job, everybody. You're doing an amazing job. Let's get on to the next step. This is coming out really, really great. I'm really impressed. I'm having a great day. I hope you're having a great day. It's actually sunny out today. This is the first day I've had off in... It's been a while where it's actually nice weather on the day that I'm off. Can you believe that? I live in Southern California. No joke. It's supposed to be like sunny like every day here. Well, not during June, apparently. June gloom took over my entire month, and this is the first day that I've actually had off where the weather is nice. So I'm excited to finish this up in just a few minutes and head outside and probably go to the beach and experience this painting in real life. Super excited. I hope you guys have some nice weather going on where you're at today, and maybe when you're done with your painting, you can do the same. Anyway, we are back in it, guys. We're back. We're almost done, and I want to show you guys. So on my palette right now, I do actually have some titanium white, some of my ultramarine blue, and some of my ultra aqua green. Now if you look on my canvas here, we're all dry with everything we previously did. Now this area right here is the big spot that's left. There's a couple other things, details we're going to be doing after we fill in this spot, but this is going to be like the part. This is the painting right here, guys. Like this is down to the like biggest part of this painting. So you're going to do great though. Don't freak out. Just take your time, relax. It's been a lot of fun so far, so just keep having fun. And the more fun you have, the happier you're going to be with your painting. If you're constantly stressing out about this, that, and the next thing, this stroke, that's too much, that's too little, you're not going to have fun. You're not going to enjoy the finished result. So enjoy every part of this, the entire process, because it's all amazing. I am going to go ahead and start mixing up some of my blue with my titanium white here to try to get a good color for this. Now, I want this color to be lighter than this darker color in the back, but darker than this color right here. So we're looking for something that's like a good medium, and I am using my number 6 angled brush by Royal and Langnickel for this. All right, so this is the color I'm going to go with right here, guys. Loading up my brush just like that. Focus. There you go. I'm just going to fill in this entire blank spot with this, and after I get that all filled in, then I can bring this a little bit out further and create the shape I want to have. You want this top part to be relatively smooth and relatively straight, you know, not perfectly straight because this is nature and there's no such thing as perfectly straight in nature, but you do want this to be relatively level. You don't want this to go in all different directions or be crazy for the top of this wave. Okay guys, so now something I'm going to do for this area right here is actually start, like I said, bringing it out a little bit further and making a little bit more of a shape. I'm going to actually bring this down some more, a little bit lower than that original line we had there. Bring this down some more right here, make it a little bit rounded possibly. Just like this. Just wanted a little bit more interest in this and not for it to be so generic. This will make it a little bit more unique. That's perfect, guys. You're doing amazing. I'm doing amazing. We're all doing amazing. This is great. I love it. So now something I'm gonna do right here in the middle, guys, is bring some lighter color right across the middle of this wave that's collapsing on itself. Now, the reason I'm gonna do that is because that's going to be the part of the wave that's furthest out towards us, so it's gonna be the brightest. Plus, you've got all of the inside of this is hollow, and it's gonna be a little bit lighter. And if you look at a reference photo, which I'm going to include some reference photos for you guys right now, just so you can see what I'm talking about, and I'll circle or outline what I'm referencing with this right here. For this, you are going to use mostly just white. You can use it on your dirty brush, so it's, you know, not pristine like total straight titanium white, but you do want it to be lighter in color. And I'm just going to start by just dabbing a little bit of white paint, like right in the middle here, just like that. And I'm just going to start blending that up and down just a little bit, and then just start bringing it side to side. So I'm feeling a little bit adventurous, so I'm going to try doing something a little bit different than what I would usually do. But if you look at my canvas here, I already did one in like a half kind of. I'm using my small fan brush for this, everybody. Small fan brush. And I'm just dipping it in some remnants of some white with a little bit of blue in it I have there. And I'm not getting a lot of paint on this brush, guys. Just seriously, like a really, really small amount of paint. And then all I'm going to do is very gently, in the direction that this wave is folding in, everybody. Very, very gently. Not even gonna drag it the entire length. If you look here, you can tell that I started with more pressure, and as I went down this wave, I lightened my pressure and it lifts right off, and it gives this really stellar appearance, fam. Let's try to do one more of those. Don't overdo these. If you overdo this, it will ruin it. So don't overdo this, and just a little tiny bit right at the top. Just like that, fam. And I think that just the few of those right there will leave a really amazing impression for us. Okay, so for the next step, we're actually going to be doing the outline in white for this wave crest here, this ridge, this wave that's kind of crashing. So what we're going to be doing is actually outlining. I started doing just a little bit here so you can see what line I'm talking about. So you can see where I started, just right there with a little bit of a white line. And I'm going to be doing just kind of the same thing all around this ridge where this wave starts to crack and break and end. And we're going to be starting to do it up to about halfway through here, but not the entire crest of this wave. Now, it's really important that you do not put this line up on top of this, just because this part is the water that's totally uninterrupted and just flowing over itself. So there doesn't really need to be any white caps or, you know, sea foam, like, which is what we're doing right now, on top of that. More along this other edge and on the bottom of this wave. So I'm going to dive into that right now. Now, I'm just using white for this. Now, I am using just the little bit of white that I have, which does have a little bit of blue in it mixed in, just a tiny little bit, but it's white. But regular white will be fine. I do think that when there's a little bit of blue mixed in, it makes it a little bit more lifelike. So I like to go like this route, but you can totally just use straight white if that's what you want to do. A really small brush for this. So for this, we are actually using our 1/4 inch angled brush. If you are a returning painter, you know this as the tree brush. Anyone who's new, this is my tree brush. I use this on a lot of trees when I'm painting trees, so I call it the tree brush. So I'm gonna go ahead and get started right now. And as you can see, I'm gonna just keep working off of that. Go gently. You don't want to apply too much pressure and make the seafoam line thicker, because it's going to be different and fluctuate in size throughout the wave. So take your time. That way you're not overwhelmed and you don't go too fast and, you know, mess it up. Me personally, I rush with good intentions, but it always bites me in the ass and I make careless mistakes. So just take your time, fam. So just like that. Now you can kind of see the shape of that wave that I created if you were having a hard time seeing it before because of all the blue. Okay guys, get excited because this is a fun part. At least it's a fun part for me. I mean, I'm kind of like a kid at heart, so, or like a kid, period, whatever. Anyway, point is, this is gonna be fun. This is gonna be a fun part, so stick around for this because this is a lot of fun. As you can see, I did go ahead and do the outline for the areas that I wanted outlined. Like I said, about halfway through this part, I went ahead and stopped the white cap line that I was making, just because, you know, that water over there hasn't folded over yet, and it all happens in a sequence, you know, where the wave is crashing, where it's in the process of crashing, where it's flipping over, where it hasn't flipped over yet. That's why I have it in like like a different kind of mode throughout the entire wave here. What I'm going to be doing now is all the splashes and the suds that are popping up down here at the bottom. So for that, I am using a sponge. Now you can get this at any of your local craft stores. I've used some different other kinds of sponge in the past that was like more like natural sea sponge, which is a little bit more volatile when you're using it, which can also be good for this too, because hey, the ocean is pretty volatile, okay? For this one, I want a little bit more control, so this one's really uniform with the effect it gives. So now, obviously all that seafoam suds are gonna be in white. So I did start with some white, but if you look at my palette here, you see how my white is kind of like an off-white and it fades into like a gray here. Now the reason I'm doing that like this is because I'm gonna be putting these suds down right now in this kind of off grayish kind of white color. Now the reason I'm doing it in a little bit of a darker white color is because this is on the other side of this wave here, so the sun is not really getting direct access to it. The sun is not directly beaming on to this white seafoam. So the seafoam that goes over it is going to be totally white, and that's going to show you and give you the perspective that some seafoam isn't getting as much light as the other seafoam, and it's going to make things a lot more 3D, a lot more realistic, and a lot more fun. I'm just going to go ahead and, like I said, I always dab on my hand just to get started, to kind of see where I'm at with everything. That's just how I start. So we're going to go just like that. You know, don't make this like a huge, gigantic, you know, thing of seafoam. Even that first one I did was a little bit too big. So just squeeze the brush nice and tight so you're getting some control over the area you're applying to. Just like that, guys. And you can already see like how amazing that looks. I mean, it's awesome. We're gonna do some more. Still using that grayish white color so far. And now I'm gonna go ahead with just some regular white and do just kind of the top part of this again, but with only white. And you'll be able to see that difference in color in just a second, and you're gonna be like, whoa, that's really cool. It really does make a difference. And you see how you can see that color change right there? How it is grayer at the bottom and white up top? Makes a huge difference, fam. I'm telling you it does. So the next thing I'm going to be doing is actually the shoreline. So just the actual line where that seafoam will come up to on the sand. That's what we're working on right now. So I am using just straight titanium white for this. I'm not doing any type of off kind of white color like I did with my seafoam before. I am using, again, my 1/4 inch angled brush. Just start putting paint on there and see kind of what direction it takes me in. I'm really not sure what angle or the exact definitive shape I want to use for this seafoam line. So we're just gonna see what we come up with, really, guys. Something like this. Now just remember the angle that we're at. As we're looking kind of diagonal at this wave crashing. That's kind of why the wave is tilting downward like that if you look at my canvas. And that original line we had is downward because we're kind of looking slightly diagonal. Just keep that in mind when you are doing the line that we're making right now, because you see how when I'm making it like pop out and come closer to us, it's kind of going sideways but still popping out. You don't want that to be like a perfectly round circle, because based on the picture and the perspective we're looking at, it just wouldn't really make sense. So if you want to watch me do my entire line before you do yours, so that way you know what perspective you want. And of course, you know, if you did want to make it totally circular, that's fine because it is your painting. But if you're going for what I'm going for, this is what I'm doing. And just also remember that as this gets closer to this side, it's going to be a little bit closer to us as well. Kind of going in whatever kind of squiggle and direction I feel like, guys. So I think that's the line I'm gonna go with for like my actual line, so to speak, where the shoreline ends. Just gonna define these a little bit better really quick. So now what we're gonna be doing is actually filling in a little bit of this with some more white, going inward towards the ocean here. Right now, I want you to understand that right behind this white line we just drew is flat, and it doesn't start moving upward into the wave until about here. So this flatter area, we're going to be filling in some of the seafoam area where the seafoam seafoam kind of clogs up and becomes like a seafoam blanket right at the shoreline. Reference photo right now so you know exactly what I mean by that. So I'm going to start filling it in kind of sporadically in just really whatever space and area that I want. The color is going to change just slightly now. We are going to make this color a little bit more off-white now, where it's a little bit more bland, a little bit less vibrant, a little tiny bit darker, just for the fill-in part. Simply because that fill-in part is further away from us than this actual line, and that line needs to be stark and pop, pushing forward. It just appears brighter to us. It's just coming at us, it's bigger, it's brighter, but that other stuff, we want it to be on the back burner. We want it to be, you know, kind of fading away in the background. So that's why we're going to change the color just a little bit. Adding not even a drop of black to this palette here, and literally taking like not even a drop, guys, not even a drop. Just mixing that over in there, and now it's just a tiny little bit grayer. So now we can start filling in some of this, and it can be really, really sporadic, guys. There's no wrong or right way to do this. Just make it however you want to make it. I will say that, you know, like for example, in this particular spot right here, like that's kind of perfect. Do you see how it's kind of sporadic, and there's some spots that there isn't seafoam, some areas where there's lots of seafoam? That's what that's going to look like in real life. So that's what we want. It's not going to be totally white or totally sandy or perfectly circular openings where you can see the sand, but it's all going to be however you want, and it's going to look perfect. Alrighty guys, so I'm going to go ahead and start doing that. I'll time lapse you and I'll be right back. Guys, so we are on the last step. So I want to take a second here to just say thank you to anyone who watched this video this far in. You did make it to the last step, and I really appreciate you. You're the reason I'm doing this. This is so much fun, and if I teach one person how to paint this picture today, I'm happy. So thank you so much for watching. We are on the last step. So I am using that same grayish kind of white color that we used for all this down here. Now we're gonna start making our seafoam veins. Yes, our seafoam veins. And I'll put another reference photo up right now so you know exactly what I'm talking about. Now we are actually, I did do one right here if you look at my canvas, which you might not even be able to see it that well, but right here you can see how it gets thinner and thinner, and it starts to go up the wall of the wave there. It goes off in all different directions like a tree branch or even like a vein. That's why I call them seafoam veins, and I'm going to show you. So you're just going to bring the seafoam basically that's on the flat, even ground part of the surf there. You're going to be bringing that back and bringing it up the wall of the wave just a little bit. You're not going to bring this all the way to the top of the wave, but about halfway through. We're just going to go ahead, and again, you can make this really in any direction that you'd like. And you're just going to start bringing it up the wave. And you want to make sure that all these veins are going in the same kind of motion. You don't want one to be going like this, and one to be going like this, and one to be going like that. You want them all to be going almost uniform in the same kind of motion up this wall of water. And for this, believe me, less is more. Don't overdo it. Okay, so if you can see what I'm doing there, my camera's about to die, so I'm gonna go ahead and time lapse you, and I'll see you guys in just a sec. Alrighty guys, thank you so much for watching my full video and completing this painting with me today. We had such a blast. I mean, look at what we painted, fam. That's amazing. You're amazing. We're all amazing. This is just amazing. I am so happy that however many months ago I decided to sit down and start this series, this little show with you guys. It's just been so amazing. I love every second of paint therapy. It's honestly kind of weird because it seems like my vlogs get more traction on YouTube than my painting tutorial series, but I really don't care. I love this so much. It just makes me feel so good to sit down once a month and do this with you guys. This painting came out amazing. You're absolutely fantastic. You're a rock star. I mean, down to business though. If you guys liked this video, make sure you tap the subscription button down below if you aren't already subscribed. If you couldn't tell, I kind of really need some subscribers. So, you know, subscription button, it's the big red button, just right below, just, you're good. just like that. Other than that, guys, make sure you like the video if you thought this video helped you out with how to paint and the instructions were easy enough to follow along. Go ahead and tap the notification bell so you know when my next video is out. Other than that, guys, leave me a comment. I love feedback. Let me know what you thought about this video, anything I could do better for you next time, and seriously, give me a suggestion for next month's painting. I don't have it planned out yet, seriously. So go ahead, let me know down below what you think you want me to paint next month, and I will make it happen for you. Seriously, it's just that simple. That's how it works. I just want to make the best video possible for you guys. I need your help to do it. Comment, subscribe, notification bell, and like the video. Thanks. Hope you guys have an amazing, amazing week, an amazing month. Do good things, make good choices out there in the world. Be nice to everyone. Other than that, I'll be seeing you guys next time. So until next time, I'm Johnny, this is Paint Therapy, and thanks for watching. Stay smiling, everybody.